If there's one skill that I've built over all of these years and years of trying to achieve some sort of dream, it's consistency in showing up. Hi everyone. I know it's been a little bit since I last posted, but thank you for bearing with me. I went on vacation for about a week and I went to LA, which was incredible. I've been there before, but this time a lot of things just fell into place very nicely, very serendipitously. A lot of serendipity has been happening in my life lately, which means that I'm on the right path. So that is very reaffirming and reassuring emotionally. I am so excited for these little puzzle pieces that have been falling into place lately. And I know that I just have to keep moving forward and keep pushing on and keep on top of my work, which includes YouTube here and speaking with you. One of the biggest themes of this week so far that I've come to the realization that I have not been sharing my best work online. When I post my work, post my poetry, especially my readings, I'm reading and highlighting poems that I wrote months ago and ones that might be a little generic or might not be as skilled as the work that I'm creating now. I've submitted to a few poetry magazines or online publications, and I spoke in a past video a little bit about it, but there's this rule that if your work has been published elsewhere, including your own website or social media, they won't accept it. And that guideline, I think I've been using as an excuse, as a mental barrier of keeping my most recent and my best work close to my chest and not sharing it publicly, which I think is not wise, because holding back my best work doesn't make sense with the affirmations that I'm saying, right? If my affirmation, what I believe is that every poem I write is better than the last, me not sharing myself authentically is just a sign of lack. I'm acting like my creative well will run dry. So I think this is both a scarcity mindset and probably also a vulnerability issue for me as well, where a lot of my better work now is more personal to me. It's more vulnerable, things that I'm more hesitant to share. But at the end of the day, if I want to show up here authentically, I need to post myself authentically. And if I want people, an audience, anybody to resonate with what I'm writing, then I need to be myself. And that's a good thing that myself is getting better over time. And obviously we need to be a little bit realistic here, and not every poem will be as good as the last, and some might be bad and some might be mediocre. But not being afraid to share that anyway is one of the whole big pieces of a creative journey. I need to be comfortable giving and sharing the best of what I have. Why am I more comfortable sharing my old work than my new work? Is that out of being humble or modest, or is that just fear? I cannot be afraid of my own potential and my own skill, and I cannot be afraid of being seen. And that is why I'm posting here, right? I need to stop holding back. That has been the biggest theme and challenge of this week. Let's see if there's any fish in this pond. Definitely not. It's definitely not clear today. Plenty of gnats though. Anyway, thank you for listening. I will, since I'm trying out a new vlog style, I will include some B-roll clips here, mostly of me doing my work, my writing, art, things like that over the past week-ish or so. I'll say a week, but that's kind of a lie. The other challenge that I created for myself is my own version of the Ray Bradbury challenge, where he says that every day for 1,000 days, we're not doing 1,000 days. Every day for 1,000 days, you read one poem, one short story, and one essay or article. I did the reading part of that challenge successfully back in May, and I thought that it was so incredibly helpful for my skill, technique, knowledge of other writing genres. And in that time, I wrote a few essays, a few poems, and it really broadened my skills. However, so this time around, I'm making my own poetry challenge, which I am about 8 days into, where I read at least one poem. I read a article, essay, chapter about poetry as a skill. And then I read one chapter out of a mythology book that I have. And I feel like it is really growing my skills, teaching me about verse forms and the history of poetry, which I already knew a little bit about, but it's kind of wrapping everything together in context, and also learning from the greats and how they viewed poetry, how they viewed their approach to writing and how they wrote, where they got their inspiration. And one of the key common themes that I've noticed throughout reading all of these is that they all have this ability to channel with source. And source can be whatever you call it personally. Consciousness, the subconscious, the I am, the universe, God, source. But this sense of universality, they are able to channel, and that gives them the inspiration, kind of the subject, the theme, how it should come across. But they're only able to channel that because they have the innate skill and talent that they've built over time to put that into the poetic form, in the form of a poem, rather than say through a song or a story or a piece of fiction. They are able to channel the message, channel source, channel the muse, something, and form that with clay into a piece of work. And that has been a commonality throughout all of this, which is so interesting. And, the creative flow state, which I think I am tapping into more and more. And me tapping into that is coming more easily over time from being consistent with my writing practice. Anyway, I wish this vlog was a little bit more exciting, but to be quite frank, I've been so busy with this poetry challenge that I have enacted upon myself that I'm not creating enough time to film and post here on YouTube, which I am working hard to try and fix, because this has been such a rewarding experience for me so far. And to everybody who has subscribed, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. And I'm so happy that people are resonating with my work. I will keep showing up. I promise. I just might be showing up in different ways along this process, showing up more in one social media channel than another. But anyway, thank you. I will post again soon.